Hey, everybody. Hope you're doing fantastic on today. I'm super excited to be coming to you on today. Here we are already in the month of December. And just like that, we're in the month of December. Man, 2022 has really moved swiftly and quickly, and we've all adjusted and we've all made the comeback. That's at least that's my thought. We're all continuing to grow and to be tremendously blessed and move forward in the things. I want to encourage you with something on today before I actually get into the lesson. I want to encourage you not to be pushed around by the fears that may be in your mind. And I say that because a lot of times what occurs to us is we think about things, and because of the way we think about things, certain fears pop up in our mind, and I don't want you to be pushed around by the fears in your mind. You can overcome, adapt, cancel out, take care of any fear that may come in your mind. I once heard Joyce Myers, the great speaker Joyce Myers, she said, fear is nothing more than when you get into a situation and it's false evidence that appears to be real. And so what a lot of times what happens to us is that we'll imagine something, or maybe we've seen something in the past or whatever the case may be, and we take that in and we begin to be fearful of it occurring. And there's another place in the Bible where this guy by the name of Job, he said, this thing which I greatly feared has come upon me. And so what I want to encourage you with is not to be pushed around by the fears that may come into your mind. You know how to deal with that. You just got to change the way you think about it. So I want to say that, but that's going to kind of lead us into what I want to talk about on today. If you haven't done so, please go ahead and shout yourself out. Let us know that you're viewing. As always, I'm going to ask you to share this with someone, to tag somebody so they can see this, and because it expands our broadcast. And that's really what we want to do. We want to grow our broadcast. We want to reach more people. And the reason why we want to reach more people is because what's the purpose of putting it on if we're not attempting to reach more people to help them have a better life? And sincerely, that's what it is for me, is to help people have a better life. As I always say, I don't tell people what to think. I just try to show them how to think and demonstrate through practical pieces of how you can think clear, you can think better, and you can have a better and a more clear life. So I'm going to talk about today. Today is a time to clean house. That's going to be my subject today. We're going to learn some simple tips to clean our house. That's our mental house, it is. So if you want to look for the title is Time to Clean House. So that's right. And as we come down to the end of 2022, one of the things I want to do is get us set up for 2023, and so what that means is we have to go through some things. We have to deal with some things. We have to clean some things up. We got to freshen some things up. It's like that all the time. I can remember as I was growing up as a young boy, my mom would do what she called spring cleaning and winter cleaning. And so in the fall or winter time of the year, she would open all the windows in the house and we would clean. We clean windows, we clean floors, we clean baseboards. And then she did the same thing in the spring. So this is kind of like it's time to clean house. And as we get ready to roll into 2023, we've got to clean our mental house. So how do we do that? How do we clean our mental house? Well, I have something that I call a positive thinking technique, PTT. And positive thinking technique gives you the tools to clean it up. Come on, let's be for real about it. Things have gone on and we may not have been as accurate and as concise or whatever you want to call it in keeping our mental thinking techniques together. Let me show you what I'm talking about. One of the things that I understand is this right here. When you start talking about positive thinking, the first thing that a lot of people jump to is like, hey, look, I can't ignore the unpleasant part of my life. I'm not telling you to ignore it. The only thing I want to share with you on today, as I said, how to think. I want to share with you about positive thinking and what that means, how you approach the unpleasantness in your house in a more positive and productive way. Because truthfully, if you're going to move higher, if you're going to have whatever you determine success to be, it is all going to spring out of the way you think. Listen, whatever you think, that's how you are. And so if your thinking is off, we've got to do some things to get it on. All right. So here's where I'm kind of at in this. And this is one of those things where you really have to sit down and assess yourself. I'm not trying to assess you. I just want to once again give you some positive thinking techniques. Thinking positive simply means this right here is thinking about what you want rather than thinking about what you do not want. I'll say it again. Thinking about what you want rather than thinking about what you do not want. And I know that seems simple enough. I know it does. And it is simple enough. However, what I understand is this right here is a lot of times we don't do that. So I want to give you some examples as I can, because I believe examples paint a great picture to help us get where we need to be. I want you to take notice. I'm going to do some things. I'm going to use some phrases, some commonly used phrases that you hear all the time. And I want you to take notice how you think about that. And I want you to notice, as I'm saying it, I want you to notice the image that comes into your imagination, on the canvas of your imagination, or in your mind, the picture that's painted in your mind. I want you to look at that picture. All right. So I'm going to go down a list and I'm going to say some phrases that are commonly used all the time. And I want you to determine a couple of things. One, what picture comes to your mind? And two, how does it make you feel? All right. So watch this right here. People say this all the time. I can't. Whatever it is, I can't do that. I can't achieve that. I can't have that. Now, immediately, that picture doesn't feel good and it doesn't look good. Here's another one. You, he, or she. You make me sick. He makes me sick. That makes me sick. You hear people say that all the time. Oh, boy, I'll tell you, that just gets under my skin. That just makes me sick. Now, I want you to think about it, okay? I'm going to go on a little bit. I'm afraid that's the phrase you hear all the time. I'm afraid that won't work. I'm afraid that if I do that, this is going to happen. These are commonly used phrases, but look at the picture that they paint in your mind and how do they feel. Here's another real good one. Boy, that is nothing but a pain in the neck. Or there's another word people use, pain in the, I won't say that though. It's people say that's just a pain in the neck, or that's just a pain in the backside, or whatever the case may be. Look at the picture. Look at the picture that it paints. And let me ask you this right here. How does it make you feel? Now, I'm saying all of that because the positive thinking technique that I'm going to share with you is what we have to do. We have to become aware of what we're saying, what we're thinking, and how we're feeling. And when we become aware of that, we can immediately do something about that. As I said earlier, I'm not saying that you put your head in the sand and you ignore, the unpleasant situations or the unpleasant things in your life, because you can't do that. You have to deal with that, but how you deal with it, how you think about it, not what you think about it, how you think about it is key. So here's what I want to do. Real quickly now, I want to share with you my positive thinking technique. When you notice a negative pathway, you're going down a negative pathway, and you notice it by what you say, what you see mentally, and how you feel. When you notice that, immediately cancel it out and replace the negative with a positive. That's all you got to do. It's a simple technique, but you have to be willing to check yourself, as I like to say. And if you're willing to check yourself, then what you have to do is now you got to turn it around. You always want to end out on a positive. So let me show you what I'm talking about. All right. Remember, I used to say, I can't this, or I can't that, or, whatever the case, or I don't know how. Try this. I will figure it out. I'm going to figure out how. I'm going to figure this out. See how much that puts you in a positive mindset. It also puts a positive picture. Like, yeah, I don't know the answer. This is what I'm talking about. It's not ignoring the unpleasant things in your life. It's all in how you're dealing with the unpleasant and what you're saying about it. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I will figure it out. Okay. Here's another one. You or this makes me sick. How about just saying, I dislike that? I sincerely dislike that. Now, here's the thing about it. Instead of getting sick, you just dislike it. Well, you're going to find something that you do like. Yes. See, this positive thinking technique is a simple technique, but it's a much needed one. I'm afraid that, how about this right here? I'm confident that I will be able to figure this out. I'm not afraid of anything. I'm confident that within me right now is the answer that I need to get where I need to get to. See how much more positive that is and empowering that is? Here's the other one. Pain in the neck or pain in the, how about this right here? This job is a pain. How about I got this? I got this. I'll figure it out. I got this. Those things right there. Now what I'm doing, I'm going with my positive thinking technique in such a way that I'm empowering myself. I'm also opening up myself for God to speak to me, the universe to give me the answers that I'm looking for. I'm also understanding this right here. Mentally, I'm opening myself up to see other things because all those other negative ways, if I don't cancel them out, it kind of shuts me down. And I can't achieve and do what I need to do. And I've got to be able to achieve and do what I need to do in order to be successful. So you got to learn how to cancel it out. Why not just say cancel? When you start going down that path, that's how you interrupt it. Cancel, cancel, cancel. Now, I know there's some situations that you can't say cancel, but how about this one right here? O means zero. I'm still shutting it down. And I'm now going to go and I'm going to end up on a positive note. That is so important. I'm going to end it positively. I'm not going to leave it there in the negative and just cancel it. No, I'm going to add a positive to it. So instead of I can't do this, I will figure this out. So I just canceled it out and then I went right into the positive. I want to give you this as a gift to you to begin to use right now. So when you roll into 2023, you're ready. You're ready to go. All right. Once again, it's just all in how you think. And when you start to look at how you're thinking, how you're feeling, and what you're seeing in your mind, your life gets tremendously better. Now, this is a very simple lesson. Very simple. Apply yourself. Use this lesson. I promise you, it's going to be tremendously better. And just sit around and listen to how people talk. I got a better one than that. Sit around and listen to how you talk and then begin to correct that. I hope that's helped you on today. If it has, would you do me a big favor? Would you share this with somebody and let them know that, hey, we got to change the way we're doing things. Coach David's helping us out, so we got to do what we got to do to be better. Well, I got to get out of here on today. Hope you have a tremendous week. I just hope your week is over the top. Remember, you got this. You may dislike some things, but you're going to figure it out. And I am confident of this right here. I'm confident of this, that you're going to figure it out and you're going to get it done. But remember this. You are the architect of your life, and I believe in you. I'll see you next week. Have a great one. Bye.